This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I apologize if my voice is a little scratchy. I've been under the weather for the past couple of days, but I wanted to cover Kris Jenner's quote-unquote magical 70th birthday party. And the reason I wanted to cover it is because these are opportunities where people can look and say, what do all these people actually have in common with one another? When you see some of the people who are on the attendees list. Well, of course, we know there's many common themes among these Satanists and witches, that being one of them, of course. We know that they're all attracted to children, obviously. We all know that they love the taste of children's blood. We know that these are ghouls, goblins, and everything else you could possibly imagine who attend these actual events. But the common person out there doesn't see the same themes that we all see. They think, well, if you're rich and you're famous, by default, you're automatically friends. But these people reveal themselves through signs and symbols, and that's one of the things that they have in common. Because when these people are photographed on magazine covers or take pictures for their own Instagram account, they love to reveal who they're affiliated with. And of course, they love to hold symbols and things up over their eyes. They love to show you the Freemasonic symbols that we all always see, whether it's the shh symbol with the finger over their lip or the black and white Masonic checkerboard floors. So let's take a look inside this demonic Kris Jenner birthday party. Of course, we could even see the theme of the party is supposedly James Bond, and this just gives him another reason to show you an eyeball for everyone to see as they enter the party. You could see that that is a gigantic eyeball. And of course, Kris Jenner often poses in front of those black and white Masonic checkerboard floors because she's one of the highest ranking witches in Hollywood. That's what the Kardashians are known for. That's why you hear things about the Kardashian curse. Anybody who dates a Kardashian, something drastic or horrible happens to them, whether it's Lamar Odom having a complete mental breakdown or Kanye West having a complete mental breakdown post dating or marrying an actual member of this Armenian witch tribe. In fact, last year I covered Kendall Jenner's birthday party where she had a cake that says, witches don't age. And of course, Kendall many times over doing things where, well, she likes to put things over her eyeball, right? Because this looks comfortable. She's putting any object she can get or he can get her hands on over their eyeball. Just like all these celebrities that we see all these collages of, right? Over and over and over again, you can find every single celebrity holding a hand up over their eye or a 666 symbol up over their eye. It's no different with anybody in the Kardashian Jenner clan, right? Over and over, holding up jewels and rocks and even a vote pin over her eye, of course, because they love to give you the illusion that America is a free country and your vote actually counts, right? That's why these celebrities are so obsessed with having you go and vote. Do you ever wonder why so many celebrities constantly like to remind you that your vote counts and that you make a difference? Well, that's all part of the spell that they've cast here in the United States of America. So you can see every one of the Jenner Kardashian witches holding up a symbol over their eye. Even Kylie Jenner doing the all-seeing eye symbols. I mean, even Kylie Jenner bathing in a pool of blood, because these are all common themes, right? These people love to hold things up over their eye. They love to take blood bath baptisms right in front of our faces. Even Kim Kardashian with the vampire facial, which I've covered many times. Kim Kardashian just conveniently cast in American Horror Story as somebody who, well, wants to abduct people's children, right? That's a coincidence, too. I'm sure it's a coincidence that Kim is close friends with Marina Abramovich, as most of these celebrities are, whether it's Kim or, well, Dr. Oz, right? There seems to be a connection between almost everybody in politics and Hollywood with Marina Abramovich, right? And don't forget Kim Kardashian, right out in the open in 2023, was the man of the year, right? Which, of course, is another common theme with all the attendees at these parties, because they're all inverted for the most part. And I'm surprised that Kim didn't just remove her flesh for the party and reveal itself as what it has in the past, as, well, this reptilian hybrid that Kim Kardashian has shown us as in the past. And Kim's daughter, of course, who gets rolled out doing the all-seeing eye symbolism. This is Kim's daughter along with Kanye, where they expose them with the red balloon. Of course, I've broken that symbol down many times before. The red balloon, of course, that you see in movies like It, has everything to do with rituals that involve children and blood sacrifice. So Let's take a look at some of the bizarre celebrities here, because the party was thrown by none other than DARPA's Jeff Bezos and Larry Sanchez, who hosted the party. You may remember again that have exposed Jeff Bezos as being the grandson of the founder of DARPA. Here's Jeff, conveniently, just like all the Kardashians, loves to hold stuff over his eye when someone takes a photograph for him and puts it in a magazine, right? Because that makes sense. You're taking a picture before Amazon really blows up big and they're doing a newspaper article on you or a magazine story on you. And you pick up a CD off your desk and say, wait, here's the picture I want in that magazine. Well, I have this smirk on my face, right? Because that's what we all do when somebody says smile for the cameras, right? And recently, Kim and Larry Sanchez had their massive flop of a space launch where they shot a rocket up into the air and came back down. I broke that entire thing down. It was an absolute embarrassment. Thankfully, many people woke up to the fact that they can't go into space. And obviously, these are all just schemes that they pull to make you think that they're doing these things. Like we can go to the moon, even though we've never been back, supposedly, because we never went in the first place. And you even saw when Bezos landed, the door conveniently open from the inside, which it's not supposed to be able to do because, of course, it was all filmed. It was a production, just like everything else they constantly show us. Now, who else was there? If Jeff Bezos is there, of course, it makes no sense whatsoever for Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates to be attending this satanic party, right? Of course, Bill's probably there because he's waiting for the cameras to go off, because the real party happened underneath the actual Bezos household, I'm sure, where they all start putting their druid cloaks on. But nobody asks questions. What in the world is Bill Gates, this guy who was trying to get everybody vaccinated, this guy who was trying to tell us what we can eat, what we can't eat, who wants to push digital passports and digital IDs? What does he have to do with any of this? Well, if you start connecting the dots, you realize that they're all in it together. These are all government assets. That's their connection, and they're all related to one another. Mark Zuckerberg, we're supposed to believe, just came up with the creation of Facebook after stealing the idea from two dorky twins on Harvard campus, and somehow it's his business and his idea, and it opens up the same day that the Pentagon's LifeLog project closes, which was actually what Facebook was and is. It is a government data mining operation where, of course, people are willingly not only giving data, they're giving their locations, they're uploading their thoughts by typing in things that they're thinking. This is giving the government full access to people's minds, to their whereabouts, and everything else. So we have Zuckerberg, Gates, and Bezos all in attendance at the Jenner Armenian witch birthday party here, right? Yeah, because that makes sense. Who else is there? Mariah Carey came out of the woodwork. Yep, they rolled out Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey here, of course, subtly doing all-seeing eye symbolism on magazine covers where you can see they put the hair over one of her eyes. This is one of the subtle ways that they like to expose who they are right in front of our faces, and they don't expect you to notice. Just like they want you to think it's a huge coincidence that Mariah Carey's sister revealed that, well, they suffered from trauma-based mind control as children because they were taken into satanic ritual gatherings where there was blood sacrifices made. And of course, people think that her sister just made it up because she looks a little bit crazy. She's missing a few teeth, and nobody takes this stuff serious. Yet every time we expose one of these celebrities, there's a direct connection to witchcraft, to Satanism, whether it's one of them admitting to being involved in satanic rituals, all things that are not normal for normal people like me and you, because we're not involved in that stuff. But these celebrities always have some type of connection to some type of witchcraft or witches, being related to witches or being involved in covens, right? Here's Mariah Carey's sister talking about the satanic rituals that they attended as children. And then conveniently, of course, Mariah Carey became famous.
My relationship with my sister was closer a while, several years ago, than it is now. There was a close family member involved in a satanic cult. Used to force me to attend certain rituals. There were a lot of things that I witnessed that, you know, were like secrets that you wish you didn't have to hold on to. People would be wearing black robes with hoods, you know, so you couldn't see their faces. And they'd be walking in a line, chanting the usual things that satanic cults do, like drink blood. They do that. I did suffer sexual abuse during those rituals. There are some of those satanic holidays. They always will be involved with sexual abuse with children, forcing children to have sex with adults, adults having sex with other adults. There's all kinds of stuff going on that really shouldn't be, and it shouldn't be something that children are forced to watch. You know, it can screw up a child for their whole life. I never saw Mariah with us when we were walking into, the castle or anywhere with the cult. When Mariah was in any danger, when she was a child, when there was something going on where she could have been harmed, I did whatever I could do to protect her. You know, Mariah was 3 years old, and I was 11, and I was threatened, if you don't do this, what we're telling you to do, and we're gonna kill your sister, And when you're given that type of a threat, it's almost impossible to ignore what you're being told.
Yeah.
Mariah, I know that you've gone through a tremendous amount of pain and difficulty. And sometimes it's as though, I know sometimes you feel as though what you're remembering didn't really happen, I just want you to know that if there was ever any way that you needed help from me, just pick up the phone and call me. And I would always be there for you. I know that you didn't want to hear any of the things that I had to say, but just this one thing, I get the sense that you're really going through a lot. Just in your head, what you're going through and some of the things that you're doing. And I understand why, even if you don't. All right, and I would help you if you'll let me.
And of course, I'm sure it's a coincidence too that sister, Mariah Carey's sister, died on the same day as her mother last year, which I covered. And Mariah, of course, was another one of these celebrities who was trying to get you to get vaccinated back in 2021. Here she was getting vaccinated on Good Morning America, holding up the 666 sign right before she got stuck, of course, with saline, because we know these celebrities were not actually taking the poison shots, were they? So who else was there? We had Gates. Well, we got Oprah. Oprah's attending, right? That's not a surprise. Oprah here holding up the 666 sign. I guess that's what they all have in common, right? They all hold up hands over their eyes. They all hold up the 666 symbolism. They all hold pyramids up, right? And of course, Oprah has a connection as well to trafficking going out of Oprah's schools, right? Cops probe body of dead newborn baby that was found at Oprah's school. Dead baby scandal, which I covered in South Africa at Oprah's school, where children were reportedly being trafficked. And of course, they want to cover those stories up and remove anybody who actually discusses them. So that's a coincidence, right? Mariah Carey involved in rituals involving children, Oprah involved in rituals involving children, right? Who else do we got? Well, we got Beyonce and Jay-Z attending, right? Beyonce showing up. Beyonce loves, probably more than any celebrity, to reveal who she actually is. Here's Beyonce holding up the pyramid, but we're supposed to believe that's because of Jay-Z, right? His Rockefeller, no connection to the Rockefeller family. He just came up with the name Rockefeller, right? Because it sounded cool, and then they used the pyramid, the same pyramid on the back of dollar bill, and then they always hold up 666 hand signs, right? Camera pan to Beyonce holding it up at the Grammys, Beyonce doing it in her backyard next to Jay-Z, Beyonce doing it whenever somebody says cheese. She just wants to hold up that symbol, as we see Jay-Z holding up the devil horns. Of course, Jay-Z Most famous, maybe, in my eyes, for wearing that shirt, "Do Without Wilt," the famous quote from Aleister Crowley. And if you haven't heard, Jay-Z, of course, backmasking, talking about 666 and murdering Jesus.
666. Murder, Jesus. 666.
So yes, more Satanists in attendance at this Armenian witch festival that took place. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You had some of the elite bloodlines there, like the Hilton clan, which is one of the rich Illuminati bloodlines. Even Justin Bieber showing up, right? They love to roll Justin Bieber out. He conveniently plays the role of a Christian. He had obviously been passed around Hollywood for years and years and years, has the all-seeing eye tattooed on his arm, even doing the 666 hand sign over his eye. I mean, what a coincidence that he does this, that Beyonce does this, that all these celebrities that I've just shown you are attending this gala do this, from Oprah Winfrey on and on and on. And of course, recently posting this very disturbing picture of him biting on his child's ear, but replacing the ear with a slice of pizza. And we all know what that actually means, and I'm sure it wasn't a coincidence either, that Khloe Kardashian decided to take a sexual photo with a donut. Because again, we all remember about voodoo donuts, and pizza. And when they sexualize these images, whether they're eating pizza or a donut or a hot dog, this is all code, and this is how they communicate. And of course, last but not least on the list is there's many other celebrities we could go through, but I won't bore you to death. But Tommy Hilfiger attended the event. You know, Tommy Hilfiger, he's famous for making crap clothes that nobody wears, right? But what do I know Tommy Hilfiger? What do most of you know? You might remember when if you saw the movie Zoolander, or when I broke it down. Because again, we see more truth in movies than we do on the news, because the news is a simulation to manufacture your behavior. And when we go and see these films, or whether we see them on TV or on the internet, this is where the truth is actually revealed. And in the movie Zoolander, of course, all of the fashion moguls were talking about drinking the blood of children and ritual sacrifice, including Tommy Hilfiger, right? How's this for the truth?
Marc Jacobs, Tommy Hilfiger, they are all here for the sacrifice.
In the beginning of time, God created Adam and Eve and Steve. Mugatu, 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 Mugatu,
Jacobin Mugautu has delivered us
the chosen way,
and behold, God expunged Steve from the garden only to redeem us with eternal youth, bathed in the blood of the fat little chosen one.
Now you don't have the ceremonial night, which means no fountain of youth.
Come on, Derek, we need the blood.
Stop being so emotional, Derek. Just give him the goddamn knife.
Derek, we need the blood! Blood of Steve! Blood of Steve! Blood of Steve! Blood of Steve!
So I'm sure that ritual you just saw was probably what the real party was. I'm sure the real party began around 3 o'clock in the morning when they all went down underneath Jeff Bezos' home, because of course, there's tunnels. And the real, we know how into eugenics Jeffrey Bezos is, and we know how into eugenics all of these big tech guys are, as well as these celebrities in Hollywood, because they breed children into covens, many of which are born nameless, of course, are used in sacrifice rituals, some of which end up being presented to the public as their own children. But the real rituals, the real party, probably look like what you just saw from Zoolander. But they'll release to the public the pictures of them all drooling over one another. You could read the comments from the sheeple out there who think that it's wonderful and it's great. And it's great to see Beyonce at Kris Jenner's party. They don't ask why Kris Jenner's famous, what the Kardashians and how they're so rich. How come half the photos of them are them bathing in blood? None of them ask any questions. They think that these people became famous organically and that they're all great, wonderful people. And of course, that is part of the idol worship problem that we have. That is part of many of the problems that we have in our world today. But these people are all connected by one common bond. They are witches and Satanists, and they all, again, crave the blood of the youth. So happy birthday, Kris. I'm sure Kris is 70 going on 150. But as they like to tell us, witches don't age. But they don't tell you why witches don't age, because they don't want you to talk about that red liquid that they're all so obsessed with. I'm surprised people weren't dressed up as bunny rabbits at the party, but maybe there were. Maybe we just get photos of that. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.